All right, guys, this story is really interesting to me because we're seeing two contradictory things happen at the exact same time in our politics. So at the same time that the Democrats are now winning in the generic ballot for the midterms against the Republicans, they were previously down a lot. Now they're winning in the polls for the midterms. Biden, the figurehead of the Democratic Party, the leader of the Democratic Party, is at his lowest ever. Wow. Okay. So this is in Mediaite. Biden approval rating hits new low in latest Monmouth poll. President Joe Biden's approval rating fell further on Tuesday as Monmouth released its latest poll. Biden, whose approval rating has dropped a whopping 18 points in the poll since January 2021, now has only 36% approval. The number marks a new low for the embattled president, who sat at a low of 38% in May. Broken down by partisan affiliation, 74% of Democrats still approve of the president, but only 29% of independents and 3% of Republicans approve of the job Biden is doing as president. Biden's disapproval ratings ticked up 1 point overall in the poll to 58% from 57% in May. Okay. So here you can see they break it down by party. Monmouth's summary of its polling data broke down the issues most on Americans' minds. Nearly half of the public names either inflation, 33%, or gas prices, 15%, as the biggest concern facing their family right now. The economy in general, 9%, and paying everyday bills, 6%, are among other financial concerns mentioned. Abortion, which has registered less than 1% on this question in prior Monmouth polls going back to 2015, is currently named by 5%, predominantly among Democrats. While Democrats have made clear they hope anger over the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade will help bolster their dire midterm election prospects, the survey found that inflation and gas prices remain by far the key issues for most voters. The poll surveyed 978 adults by phone between June 23rd and the 27th, carries a margin of error of 3.1 percentage points. In 538's pollster ratings, Monmouth University scored an A, calling 78% of races surveyed accurately. They go on to say here, this is the important part. Barack Obama sat at 46.3% at this point in 2010. Now, that was before he got wiped out in the Tea Party wave. The Democrats got destroyed in the Tea Party wave. Obama had a 46.3% approval rating. Trump had a 43.2% approval rating. This is the average, right? Biden currently averages 38.2% approval rating with the midterms just 4 months away. So again, guys, this is unprecedented. I've never seen anything like this before. So at the same time that the generic Democrat is surging, so now there's one poll that has Democrats up 7 points on the generic ballot against Republicans. Another one they're up 5, another one they're up 3. But they're up now in the generic ballot. Before they were getting crushed, worse than the Tea Party 2010 type wave. At the same time that's happening, the leader of the Democrats has never been more unpopular. Which, I mean, look, it's contradictory, but I kind of understand it too. Because overturning Roe v. Wade is deeply unpopular. People associate Republicans more with being against Roe v. Wade. So now they're just going to default support Democrats more because they don't want Roe v. Wade overturned. They want to have, they're generally pro-choice. But at the same time, I think people just look at Biden and they see, number one, he's not doing anything to fight back against the overturning of Roe v. Wade or fight back against the Supreme Court going full authoritarian. And number two, look at the economy. Like they mentioned, inflation, gas prices. He's really the do-nothing president. He's not in front of people. He's not making a case. He has no real policy agenda or philosophy or ideology that he's fighting for. So he keeps going down, 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 more and more and more. I mean, look, at this rate, it's possible by the time 2024 rolls around, he might be in George W. Bush territory after 8 years. In other words, he might be in the 20s. He might be 27%, 29% approval rating, which is just... See, Biden has a false notion about the way polling works. And he's mentioned this before, too. He thinks like, I don't know what you mean. The polls go up, the polls go down. I mean, it just happens. Like, he thinks it's a natural, like, hey, up, down, up, down, up, down. No, Joe, it all depends on what you do as president. What you do, what you say, how you either lead or at the very least posture as a leader. and he's MIA. And so I wouldn't be surprised if that number keeps going down more and more and more. So anyway, the midterms will be interesting for that reason. Will the memory of Roe versus Wade being overturned be fresh enough where that impacts the election a decent amount, or will the economy override that? My gut instinct, my opinion, and this is all speculation, but I would have expected a wave worse than the Tea Party wave of 2010 where Republicans just obliterate from coast to coast. Now I look at it and I think Republicans will still probably win, but just not by as much as they would have won if Roe versus Wade wasn't overturned. So we'll have to wait and see, but Biden is certainly not the beneficiary of any post-Roe bump, and that's probably because he's MIA and he's not doing anything to fight back against it.
Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.